You're tuned into news across the galaxy where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
What a ball for Ricky Peach.
News across the galaxy. Keep on nagging, guys.
What a night yesterday was. It is really hard to find the words to express that we were feeling. So here at News Across the Galaxy, we hired some head writers to help us come up with the best way to describe last night. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times.
Did you hire a bunch of chimps to write our intros now?
Hey, his name is Guti.
¿Qué pues,
Oh,
muchacho?
we all needed a laugh.
Welcome,
It's been a rough day, man.
welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. I am your host, Bryant Lowe's, and tonight it's a full house. We have Eddie with the Pokemon hat. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. It's a full horny house.
Yes. We also have our very own Edgar Zuniga. How you doing tonight, sir?
My voice still hurts, but that doesn't matter. We're all
Totally.
here.
And a surprise appearance, but an important appearance because the LA Galaxy won. Willis, how are you doing tonight?
Still horny. Still horny, guys.
And of course, off to the side, we have two special guests. Guti, say hello to the good, beautiful people of Los Angeles.
If you tell that people at me one more time, we're fighting, Eddie.
And the other special guest, Cisco, horny man himself.
Hello, hello.
Ayo.
Still breaking up over here.
Look at that,
Right.
the deep voice. That is very erotic.
We all
there,
have
sir.
a deep voice this morning, man.
Gentlemen, I know the game has been, 12 hours? Let's just get an overall feel. How we feel. Are we still good? Are we still happy? What's going on? Let's start with you, Eddie.
Oh, fuck. Why do I have to go first? It's I'm still in disbelief. You know, if you saw Edgar's interviews, like I said, I'll be honest, and I've never been so happy to be wrong. I'll eat my own words, and I couldn't see it. Right, I couldn't see it in the beginning of the season. I don't think anybody here could, and you guys say you could have. You guys are lying motherfuckers, and why? How could you lie on the Lord's day? Come on.
Right. Willis, I know you were not in the stadium to watch the game. What was the atmosphere at your house? How are you feeling after, before? Talk to me.
Well, coming into the game, dude, I was nervous. Not gonna lie. You know, it's kind of the way I felt was I didn't want to get my hopes up too much because that fall is horrible. But watching the game and going through it, it's classic, dude. It's classic semifinals, classic playoff atmosphere. I mean, as much as you can feel when you're at home. So the ups and downs, the stress, me putting my hands behind my back the whole time, like, ah, shit, what the fuck? Yeah, it was all the feels all together. It was great.
Feels Edgar.
For me, it's been a roller coaster of emotions because um, we were all there. It was a tense match. We had predicted it was going to be a very tense match, uh, but we didn't think it was going to be scoreless that late into the game. So when Dayon finally scored, it was just like an explosion. It was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard in that stadium. Um, Talking to people afterwards, you guys saw my interviews that are on Instagram, and that's just a few of the conversations I had. I I mean, I started sobbing in my car on the way home, and I was just like, "Wow, I can't believe it just came out of me." It's not like I'm sitting there like, "Oh, I'm gonna start crying." And I was like, "No," I just started sobbing, and I got home. I was really happy. Um, and then you wake up no, and then I remember late last night I was going to bed, and I saw Josh Gessman, Corner of the Galaxy, put a little message about Reiki, and that was the first sign that something was up. Woke up in the morning, and as the day went on, you started hearing the news, right? And you're like, no, it can't happen. And then I was having lunch with my family, and then the official word came out, and you went from like this feeling of euphoria to like this feeling of just like deep sadness for Ricky, and also now a sense of concern for our team. But as we're gonna get into it, we're gonna discuss how Galaxy does without Ricky. But that's getting too far ahead. And so let's just dive into the show. Take it away, Brent.
They were feeling before and after. We'll start with Cisco.
Oh man, I felt fairly confident that we had this game. I've been saying for a while now that Seattle's just kind of the older dog limping into this postseason. Not that I count them out. Any dog could bite back pretty hard, but I feel pretty confident that our fitness for the Galaxy was there, and we're looking good. I felt good about it.
I was no, I'm here. I was extremely nervous. This was my first Western Conference final game that I've ever attended. I was so stressed out. I had to go. I literally had to sit by myself in the top deck seats, pretty much. After the game, I ain't gonna lie to you. I started crying, and I feel like I'm about to tear up right now because just thinking about it is it's insane. For me, next week is gonna be basically my first MLS Cup, and what a way, to watch my favorite team play for a cup, something that a lot of people have been waiting for years.
Case, I've been fortunate to be to three finals. I was there for the 2011, 2012 when they beat Houston in back-to-back runs, and then 2014 with the Bobby King goal that gave us number 5. Coming into this match, yeah, I could agree with most of us and the Galaxy fans that this wasn't going to be an easy task. I know Cisco just mentioned that you take Seattle, you see Seattle as the old dogs just kind of limped in. I mean, they didn't. The team was very good defensively. Even in the playoffs, they were very solid in the back end. Coming into the match against one of the hottest offenses in all of MLS. But let's start with some history between the LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders in playoffs, regular season matches. I know in 2014 in the Western Conference Finals, semifinals, the LA Galaxy beat them. But in 2015 in the knockout rounds, they gave us a loss. Edgar, you and Eddie are the historians here from the LA Galaxy. What can you tell us about this Seattle Sounders rivalry between these two clubs?
Well, it's something that Eddie and I discussed with Cameron from the Seattle Scuttlebutt podcast about how LA Galaxy for the longest time was the golden standard in Major League Soccer, the flagship franchise. Anybody that wanted to win an MLS Cup at some point or other had to go through LA, uh, whether to our detriment or to our success. And when Seattle entered the league, they found immediate success. And but every time they got to the MLS Cup playoffs, who did they run into, Eddie? LA Galaxy. And they were knocking on the door for years until they finally knocked that door down, eliminating Galaxy in the first round in the 2015 playoffs. And then from there on, Seattle went on to become a juggernaut in Major League Soccer. They had already established themselves with winning all these Open Cups, and now they're winning MLS Cups or challenging for MLS Cups. Um, and yeah, I mean, you look at them now, and it's Eddie. What did we say about them? How they were getting old at the start of the season? There was that discussion, and then what happened, Eddie? What does Seattle do?
What's that one word?
What's that one word? Tell me, because I can't think of it.
Schmetzer, bro.
Schmetzer.
That's what
It's
happened.
like
That's what
almost like
happened.
shites.
Yeah, think about think about Seattle's history, right? Just coaching. It's been Schmidt and Schmetzer, right? And like you said, it's they've crossed paths so many times in high stakes games, and every game has been a close one. There hasn't been, at least not to that I can remember, a game where either of us had ran away with it, right? So every time you're gonna play this team, you're uneasy, and even when we talked about them getting gold and whatnot, it was still respects to Schmetzer, right? We never felt at ease. We saw them coming up. We when we saw the other side of the bracket, think about it. We were like, oh hell yeah, we get to dodge these guys too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and so that's what this rivalry has done to you as a Galaxy fan. It's those games have been nail biters, right? Some memorable moments. You have that freaking Juninho goal that sent us through the last time we played, and look at what happened yesterday. It
Yeah.
took almost out of nowhere, to get us to into another final.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing. Sorry, I was gonna
Go
say
ahead.
another thing about Seattle is that, like Eddie mentioned, when we sorry, my son's in the background. We when we saw where LA Galaxy ended up in the bracket, it's kind of like the inverse of what happened last night, right? Where last night we had all this joy, we woke up, and then we were forgot about Ricky, and everybody's kind of bummed out. When we found out about the bracket, everybody was bummed out the night before because of the loss in decision. Then you wake up in the morning, you look at the bracket, and you're like, "Oh, that's not so bad. This could actually work out for us." But we knew that at some point down the line, if LA Galaxy was going to make it to MLS Cup, they were going to run into one of those teams from that side of the bracket, whether it was Portland, Vancouver, LAFC, Houston, or Seattle. These are all teams that at some point or other have given the LA Galaxy some difficulty, especially Houston, Seattle, and LAFC. And out of all those teams, I think the one that everyone least expected, I mean, aside from Portland and Vancouver, was Seattle, right? And my God, like Eddie said, every time we play these guys, it is a battle. You earn that victory. It's not easily given. And damn, what a price our team had to pay to get to MLS Cup. It was just the heaviest price, man. That's
What a heartbreak for Galaxy fans hearing that after the match. But we'll touch a bit on it a little bit more. Willis, this Seattle team's far removed from the Dempseys, from the Obafemi Martins. Rui Diaz is not in his prime anymore. Nicolo
Yeah.
is out east. What is this rivalry? What have you seen from this rivalry? What does this rivalry mean to you?
Well, since the beginning, since they came in as an expansion team, I think they showed the world and they showed the MLS world that they were gonna be at the top of the league just about every time, and they showed it. They've shown it throughout. And one of the things that they're characterized for is turning it on the right time, and they've done so this season. Because if you guys remember, they were doing poorly in the beginning, and then things didn't start clicking till the middle of the year for them, and they started peaking towards the end. And this is classic Seattle, man. They've done it all the time. Sometimes they've done it where they dominated the whole season, and then times like these, they've done it where they're clicking at the right time. And that's one of the reasons why I was so nervous coming into this game, because we knew that if it was going to be one of these 30 games and these 1-0 game, we knew that they were going to have an advantage. And I think it showed in the first half and in the second half as well. But the Galaxy were able to rally and get a win. But this rivalry means a lot, and I think a lot of people they hate Seattle.
Yeah.
LA Galaxy fans, we hate Seattle, and I remember as a young buck always talking shit to the Seattle fans coming in. I don't know if you guys remember.
When we went to their stadium talking
We
shit.
went. Yo, hey, I was young and dumb. Okay, I'm sorry, guys, but
Well,
we just don't match, man, and it's a thing. But that's
well,
what makes
Willis,
it frustrating.
Willis, you're definitely not young anymore.
Definitely
Yeah, this
not
is
young anymore.
interesting you mentioned that hate, by the way, because when we were talking to Cameron and then talking to other Seattle pods throughout the year, all we've been hearing from them is like there's like a certain level of respect now.
Yep. Yep.
And even Cameron said he made a contrast to how for the longest time Sounders fans saw Galaxy as like the rival down here in Southern California, and now they look at LAFC as more of a rival, and they look at LA Galaxy fans as kind of like there's like a sense of respect there, right? We're like, yeah, we hate those guys, but you guys are cool. But I think after what happened last night, a lot of Galaxy fans are pretty upset. And man, I've seen some wild stuff in this afternoon on on social media. So it's
We're,
like,
we're,
whoa.
we're still cool. We're still cool.
Yeah,
Come here, buddy.
and I think you mentioned the word respect, and I think that's what it is. From the last time that the LA Galaxy won their trophy, which was in 2014, Seattle has been the dominant franchise. After that, they won 2 titles after that. Not only that, they went on and go. They went on to win a Champions League, in a very tough run to the championship. And so, when when you find teams that are this good and been doing it for quite some time, you have to give them the respects, even if you end up matching up with them in a finals like we did yesterday. Yeah, we might not like them, but it's not like a hate anymore. It was in their earlier years, but now it's more about that respect. And yeah, good luck getting home,
Oh, shit.
guys. In the special guest, you guys want to say anything about this rivalry?
Nah, I'm good, man. I think you guys covered it. They didn't have the attacking power because, like you said, Raul Diaz is older off to the side. Hey, look at my Chuchito. Hey, buddy, he's adorable. I totally sidetracked it now.
Question is, what is Chewy doing with the picture of your dog? That's the bigger question.
That's not normal,
Really,
bro.
though, where'd that
That
come
is
from?
not normal.
He's the best. Look at he's so happy.
That's Cisco's dog.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I lost track of what I was saying.
Came into these postseason matches in different forms. Willis mentioned it earlier. Seattle was struggling in the beginning, but they seemed to turn it up at the right moment and at the right time.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, he was saying that they turned it up on the right time, but again, like, they had other tournaments this year and got so far and just got so close and cut it short.
The LA Galaxy's playoff run. They started with Colorado, dismantled that team, made it look very easy. They played Minnesota, made that look easy, and then the Seattle side, they had to play Houston, who was they're not a bad squad, and then they had to go and try to steal one in down the street in Figueroa. What Edgar? What can you say about these teams' form coming into it, and what kind of sauce did that on to the Western Conference Final?
Well, like we said earlier, the conversation at the start of the season was the age and experience factor with Seattle. A lot of people felt, especially their own pundits, they were really harsh on them. Like Cameron said, they have a high standard right over there for themselves, and they felt that a lot of the guys that were on this team were getting old, and it was time to revamp the entire team. When I asked Cameron why these guys are still hanging around, he said that a lot of them were rewarded for having won the Champions League by getting these additional contracts, and this was Garth Lagerwey who did that. So these are guys that were they're holdovers from that era, and so. But it was getting to the point where, like, okay, you reward these guys, but what is that going to do for you now, right? So these guys are there, and they're getting older, and there's these young guys that are coming up in the system that could, conceivably come in and help Seattle, move to the next step. But you know, they're not, the older guys are there. So he was like, this team sucks. Fry's not making good plays and blah blah blah. Well, they turned it around, and Seattle did what Seattle does, and they got hot. They got into the playoffs, and you could tell that these guys have that playoff experience from having played in so many tournaments, and they grind it out. They will grind it out, and they will make things uncomfortable for you. They made it uncomfortable for Houston. They made it really uncomfortable for LAFC. And if you were there at the stadium last night, you're watching at home, you can't tell me you felt comfortable at the half, because for there were periods of the time of this game where Seattle was just dominating possession. Just to put it into perspective, LA Galaxy's possession numbers against Minnesota was 73% versus 27 in Minnesota. Last night's game, it was 54% Galaxy, 46% Seattle, but it did not feel like that. It did not feel like that at all. Um, but it just goes to show that even though Seattle has such a strong defense, who ended up getting the clean sheet in the end?
is that 2 for McCarthy in these playoffs, right? Against Colorado, I think we left them at 0 in the first game, and then we conceded 1 in the second, and then another shutout. This and it's just for McCarthy. That defense, and we'll get into the game in a bit because oh my God, got assess, bro. God damn, got assess.
Oh, we
Willis.
have
Oh
a
yeah, go ahead.
super chat.
Oh yes, can we get the twinkle? There
Oh,
we
we have the
go.
twinkle.
Super chat.
All right.
That's cool. This is new. For me.
He gets all excited.
The Seattle players played dirty, and was it Christian Roldan who committed the foul that caused Ricky to miss the final? There was actually Christian Roldan tweeted something out.
I'll take this.
Yes, go ahead.
Big one because I'm Roldan is like, we got beef. I don't think they play dirty for all I can bitch and whine about Roldan and Seattle. I don't think they're a dirty team. I think they play, they're tough, they're rough, you know. Uh I'm just hoping that this tweet isn't because how people get passionate when it comes to their teams, and sometimes your passion kind of goes a little too extreme, maybe at least not as far as like the Galaxy goes. Have we had a situation like this? But we know in other sports where there have been times where people get harassed, and they hit them up saying unnecessary things, things that
Like what?
no, we're not going there. Things that kind of go a little too far, and you forget that these are human beings too, bro. So, I to answer the question though, no, I don't think they're dirty. I think they're a tough team, and I mean, if you ever seen or remember when teams were successful against us, is when they were physical with us. So, again, back to Schmetzer, right? Schmetzer did what we did what he could. Still came up short. He tried to do it.
Yeah, it's like
Better than
it's like I
Bob.
said. It's like I said, they make you feel uncomfortable in your own stadium. Oh, and real quick, Jordan Sure Sky, can you see the? Can you go back to the message that he posted earlier, real quick? He says, "Congrats for beating the Sounders." From my fellow friend of Tommy from the Atlanta United Scarves and Spikes podcast. Tommy's a good friend of ours. He says he disliked the Sounders. They're both members of Terminus Legion. And then he asked a question a lot of Galaxy fans have been asking. The ticket prices are
Oh yeah,
crazy.
that's
It's insane
ridiculous.
because I'm a season ticket holder, and I got my. I mean, as soon as the game was over, they immediately charged me. I looked at it, and I was like, okay, that's not bad. That's reasonable considering they had told me ahead of time what it was going to be. But then I looked at the at the prices that people were posting. This is crazy.
Yeah,
Who's marking this up? I mean, I know is it MLS that takes over for this, right?
Yeah. From what we understand, these are MLS prices.
That's
So, but
insane.
the thing is, these are only
It's a
prices.
final, bro. It's a final.
No, but that's a lot. That's more than we've ever paid.
Hey, but you know what though? Like Willis mentioned, we went 10 years ago, right? And
Yeah.
it was 60 something bucks. So from
I
what from
know. I show
yeah,
side.
you gotta understand where the league's at now too. And another thing is too,
Yeah.
we're basing these prices on what we've seen so far. The tickets haven't officially been released yet, so we don't know. We're talking about the first access to the first set of tickets we saw. So for what we know, there's still gonna be the berm. We don't know if they're gonna build those corner stands. So
Yeah.
we don't know what the prices are gonna be, to be honest.
yeah. Either way, that's to have them priced at that set price now. It's that's too much.
Is it though? Is it, Willis? You seem to be like it's a final. I personally don't think starting at $180 is a lot. I think if you want to earn some respect, especially like in this
Well,
country.
they ain't at 180 anymore, bro.
They're like at 450.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we're talking about where they started, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
think about if the World Series or the NBA Finals were
Exactly.
one offs, right? Or Game 7. If you're going to a Game 7, what is that going to
Those are
cost?
like $1,000 tickets right there.
Yeah,
And I think
a-
that speaks to the league as well that it's progressing and that there's a lot of interest in
No.
it.
Okay,
So,
let me ask you a question before you say
Okay,
what
go
you're
on.
gonna say. At those prices, do you think the stadium's going to fill up?
Of course, it's going to fill up because
There you
there's
go.
going to be somebody who's going to buy a
There you
ticket.
go.
But
But-
no. But no, Eddie. But this is where I completely 100% disagree with you because Are these people that are going to be paying these prices? Are they the real Galaxy fans that have been there grinding it out from
Yes.
game one? No,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
not.
you know what? Because those people already have their season ticket.
No, they have the season tickets, but I'm talking about the people, the casuals that come whenever they can afford it. The ones that work hard during the week, and maybe once in a while they can afford to take the kids and the family to the
Look,
game. They're
look,
diehards, and they
Oh,
want to go to these
the
games.
final is not a ticket where you take your family
yeah. Here's
because
the th-
yeah, it's not. You're not
You
gonna
have
spend
all
four hundred
season for
No,
that.
dollars.
I'm just
You know,
saying, you're think about the kind of crowd that they're gonna attract to this game, right?
but that's the thing.
it's
Look,
money. It's
you're
money, and it's not the
It's the
yeah.
Galaxy.
same. It's
The
kind of like
price.
the same thing with like the World Series, bro. People are always
Yeah.
gonna pay a ton
I,
of money for that, no matter
How many
what,
Look,
bro.
cholos were at the World Series?
let
None.
me tell you
no,
something.
no,
Like,
no.
I'm a working professional, and I could not justify paying that much to go to a World Series game as much as I would love to.
That's it though. I
That's
mean,
you. Those are
yeah,
you.
it's
You have
you.
your own priorities. People have other priorities.
I mean, compared to like an NFL game to go see the Rams, people pay what $300 for a ticket for just a season game, and they paid like I think at SoFi parking 160 just to park.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
See,
right. That's crazy. So I don't think
I,
they're asking too much yet.
I think
honestly, I
also
think
you're
it's
gonna
good.
get a lot of the people that never come around, and they're like, "Hey, look, it's something to do. It's something LA. It's a high
Nah,
profile event. I can afford it."
I think
And
I think I think you're overthinking it, right? So it's an MLS Cup final. It's not a regular season game. It's not a conference final. It's a final. So right now the what's the highest ticket, like eight something, right? That's gonna be the premium seats, which your everyday fan doesn't sit there anyways. So you're talking about the diehard fans are gonna get priced out or whatever at 300-400 bucks. They're absolutely not, because they know that's a final. I want to be there.
Yep.
I'm gonna pay this fucking fee to go see them.
And there's one other thing, Klarna, baby.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
making the payments, bro. So
There you
that's
go.
Payments.
a big
PayPal,
win, right? Big
PayPal,
W.
pay
PayPal and
bro.
four, what is that? Affirm, Zip, everything, baby.
They
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
So,
dude. So
Go.
like it's gonna be fine. And if you think about it, a lot of people that, let's say, we're gonna get priced out. Hey man, they have probably friends that are season ticket members. They got the link last night, and hey, buy me a ticket. You know, a lot of people, since before we even started the conference final, were like, hey, buy me a ticket right away as soon as you get the link.
yeah, and if you have a problem with this, Edgar, let me just tell you this, bro. I hope you enjoy this MLS Cup, bro, because it's only gonna get worse, and you're not gonna want to go anymore.
It's because
good
that's the
thing I
way
have my
it's
season
heading. That's the thing.
tickets.
It's the way it's heading, dude.
Yeah,
MLS is
dude,
getting
and
more popular.
See,
and it has to. It has to.
and
Because
this is
again, this is in this country, especially in any country. I'm sure a Champions League final or freaking, because obviously they don't have championship games in leagues in Europe, but I'm sure if they did, it'd be way higher than that. So it has to. It's gonna go that way. There's no fighting it.
and
Just accept it,
I
bro.
also think this is the reason why teams like promote being a season ticket member is because of those type of games too.
Yep.
Because they know, like, hey, like, okay,
It'll
you
be
have
cheaper for you at the end.
yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, it's gonna be cheaper for you, and you're gonna end up missing out, and then you're gonna rely on have to paying $300. A lot of us don't even have to pay that much. It's not even that bad, honestly. The whole playoff, this whole playoffs, like us them charging this after the game, it wasn't even that bad, and that's why they promote being a season ticket member, bro. And it's just basically the perks you get as being a season ticket member.
Anybody from the Galaxy listening, you gotta hire this motherfucker, right? You just right? It's like it's true, bro. Because you know how many people have hit me up, and I'm just like, sorry.
Should have
bro.
got your season ticket.
I'll send you a postcard. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Check my IG story.
I'll send you a pin, bro. I
And
got
bro,
you.
even the postcards are gonna be expensive.
Tune into NAG the day after. We'll tell you about it.
MLS
Into
Cup,
NAGn.
I was there.
Rich Galaxy fans,
Well,
baby.
it's kind of a sign of a growing league, also, right?
Yeah,
That's good
big
that
time.
the
Yeah.
sport is growing in this country, and I think that's a good thing to see. The demand is there.
Yeah, and for everybody that is going, if you want to park inside, I would suggest buying the pass right now, because that's just probably gonna be like 60-70 bucks. I don't know the official number. They haven't said it, but if you're probably gonna park that day of, it's
is
gonna be
parking?
expensive.
How much was parking yesterday?
It's 40 normal now. So add another
It was
20 on top of
$40
it.
yesterday.
40.
Shh, stop talking about it. There's no more parking.
Phil, don't go.
Ya se acabó.
Take,
Just
take the
right
bus.
there.
Quédate en casa.
The Nag boys bought the rest.
Hey, you know what? Stop complaining, Edgar. Because fucking Willis is gonna cost him an arm and a leg just to get down here and then go watch the game. And he hasn't bitched once.
Not one.
Yeah.
You guys, they're brothers. If you guys didn't know.
Oh yeah, we're related. If you guys
Yeah,
can't see it.
Nerds.
Not Edgar and Willis, Bryant and Willis.
Yes.
No, not Eddie and Edgar.
Before we get into the match, actually, I wanted to ask you guys about. I don't know if I asked you, Eddie, in the morning when we're gonna go play. That if you guys know if they're gonna be showing the game outside in the plaza, like in a big screen, just in case people can't get into the stadium.
I don't think so.
Because I'm pretty sure people are gonna want to celebrate regardless, right? And it'd be kind of cool if you'd be able to show the game outside and people can still gather around and keep tailgating and watching the game.
I think we'll get a lot more info probably Tuesday or Wednesday when the Galaxy go back to work. I know Galaxy was working today, Sunday.
Yeah, because they charged me this morning.
Not just that, there's people that I follow that are in the FO, like I guess front office or offices or whatever, and they were posting that they were working and pictures with the cup and all that stuff. So probably Tuesday we'll find out more info.
It's a great opportunity, right? I mean, I hope everything goes right and we get to win. It's like what kind of atmosphere you get to create after the game as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, I asked my brother that same thing. Like, hey, you think they're going to show the game at the plaza? Because it'd be a great idea. You know, you get out there with the barbecue, having a good time before the game. You know, some people want to go for the vibe, you know, and they get to watch it there while we go into the stadium. And then afterwards, when we're done, hopefully we win. We're celebrating, start the barbecue back up again, you know, keep the party going. It's an early game. It's going to have a full day.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty tight, actually.
I think Stephen Moss said it was going to be whiskey and pancakes for breakfast.
Again? Dude, what the hell is up with these early game, man? God,
East Coast, baby.
Viewership, bro. It's the viewership.
I mean, yeah, but they could have done it. Wait, is it at 1 or is it at 3? I forgot.
At 1. It's 3.
They could have done it at 3.
Could have, right?
Should have.
That's okay of a time, bro.
No, whatever. We'll call Edgar after and complain about the time.
You were the first one to complain about the time.
All right, boys. Let's get back to the game.
Edgar's old, so he doesn't complain about the time. I complain about the time.
All right, boys. Styles clash between this matchup. A very dynamic offensive team who has scored 15 goals before coming into this match versus a very solid team. I'm not sure how many goals have they conceded. I mean, they lost some penalties, right?
Like 30 something. It was pretty good though.
The old Vanny versus Schmetzer.
Man.
Let's go with the starting lineup. For your LA Galaxy, at goal, John McCarthy. Your center back pairings, Emilio Garces and Maya Yoshida.
Yoshida!
Out left, John The Rock Nelson.
The
Rock.
For the millions.
All
if
right.
you guys saw that video posted online of the people celebrating in the dressing room, and then John Nelson walked by with a towel just barely covering.
Hey.
John The Rock Nelson, baby.
Let's go. Buns out, baby.
We'll saw his Onyx.
Right.
Nah,
right. Mickey Yamane.
I'm gonna do the whole way for you.
All right, cool.
You guys are
Your
fucking lame.
center
Get
mid,
excited. We're going to the final, fuckers.
Edwin Serio.
Serio.
Marco Royce.
Royce. You said it wrong, man. You might as well play it.
Reus. It's Reus, right?
Reus.
Isn't it Reus?
I don't know.
Right. You know who we're talking about.
Marquito Ruiz. Oh, yeah.
And Ricky Pooj.
Push.
Up top, on the left wing, Joseph Paintsill.
Pencil.
You and I.
On the right, Gabriel Peck.
The
Oh,
And your lone striker, Young Jovic.
the release.
That is the starting lineup for your
The
Galaxy.
pistolero.
Dude, is that DJ still going from last night?
Oh yeah, gentlemen, this lineup came out. I'm pretty sure everybody expected this lineup, or was there any surprise?
Yeah, that Royce was starting again, especially because we heard in the middle of the week that he had picked up a knock against Minnesota. I figured maybe you start someone else, maybe like Fagundes or Mark Delgado, and then you bring Royce in the second half. But um, I spoke to Josh about this at the half, and we were both like, "Yeah, this is kind of surprising," but it was like I guess they just want to go for that early goal, right, and put it all out there right from the get go. But it didn't happen like that.
But
Yeah,
let's be honest, man. Marco Royce is always injured, so
I've
I don't
been
know
saying
if
that
I don't know
since
if it makes a
before he
difference.
came.
to be fair, you only need him for a half, anyways.
Yeah, and it's a surprise, yes and no, right? Because obviously injury, so we didn't know. So I mean, how much of a surprise is that? But I personally thought he should start if he was ready
Yeah.
to go because it's a big game, right? Who else in this team has been in a who's been in a bigger game than Marco Royce
yeah,
in this team? You know,
yeah.
so
And you want your best lineup out there, of course, when he's 100%. Just the class that he brings and the calmness that he brings to the rest of the team is something that you need. And I mean, against Minnesota, he didn't look bad. Willis, what was this the lineup you had in your mind before the match even started?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if Marco Reus is if he's healthy, you start him, and the reason you start him is because, like you said, he has a calming presence, and usually those first 15 minutes is when you need that calm. The first 15 and the last 15. So Vanny kind of has to play this balancing game where do I want him in there for the first 15 or do I want him in there for the last 15?
Yeah,
I think for this game, you wanted him in there for the first 15 because the way that Seattle plays. And you knew that they were going to frustrate the Galaxy. You knew that this was not going to be a runaway game. It was going to be a hard fought game. And you needed that calm and present in the middle. He got subbed up at the half, but I think he picked up another knock, and that's the reason why he got subbed out, I think. So, this is what I expected. This is the best thing we got. Just put him out there, man. Put him out there.
yeah, and of course, if you're playing on FIFA, he's not injured, so you'd be fine if you play him the whole game. Well, let me
You
give you guys
do it for 90 minutes.
let me give you guys some stats from this first half. Um, the LA Galaxy shot 7 shots to 4. Possession wise, 57 to 42. Pass success percentage, the Galaxy with 91% to Seattle's 89. Successful dribbles, Seattle had 6 over R3. Aerial balls 1. We won 4 of them. Seattle won 1. Tackles. Oh, and I love this stat. We had 12 tackles to their 9 in that first half. Corners, something I did not like, and it was something that we touched on in the midweek show or the Thanksgiving midweek show. Seattle had 5 corners to our 1, and Seattle got dispossessed 3 times to our 2. Eddie, what are some things that you did like and you didn't like about this first half?
what I did and didn't like. First off, I forgot to share this story. Right, this is a story that I want to share with everyone. There was a good, there was a good omen too, by the way, because I was with my oh yeah, Guti's laughing because he was with me. Guti was there, and I was also with my heterosexual LA Galaxy life partner, David Gudinoart. Shout out to him. So we took the shuttle, and first off, we ran into the march. So we started crawling like on the fucking shuttle, and then this dude misses the turn. They make a mess out of the situation where he tries to back up. It was like the scene from Austin Powers, when he gets fucking stuck in the car. Or basically that. And then, well, the good omen was that the lights went out. The lights went out on inside the bus, and then me and David were at the game against Houston when the lights went out. Galaxy ended up winning that game, so we made that comment. It's like, oh, it's a good omen, bro. Here it is. That's gonna happen. And then the funny thing that happened is, so that turn, because we missed that turn, we're now blocking the pathway to get to the tunnel where like players and fucking deliveries and everything goes to go under the drive to go under the tunnel. So all of a sudden we see like this Mercedes, like pull up like kind of next to the bus, next to the shuttle, and this guy gets out and he's visibly upset, and then we just hear like murmurs all over, like it's Paintsill, it's Paintsill. So we fucking blocked Paintsill from getting to the tunnel, dude. And we ended up having to go around. Who knows how he ended up getting to the tunnel? But yeah, it was just a funny story. Anyways, I forgot what I was supposed to answer. Oh yeah, what I like and I didn't like. I didn't like that we blocked Paintsill, and then there was a chance that our shuttle was the reason why.
It was so funny because like we saw that car pull, so they were basically guiding the traffic behind the bus, so I guess the bus can try to. Pues, no. Anyways, so the bus backed up, and then the car pulls up, and it's like, what we're thinking, like, what is this car doing? He stops, and then he gets out, like, wait a minute, that's paint still, bro. And then we're all saying, at this point, we were just making fun of the bus driver and people who were directing traffic because they were doing horrible.
But to answer the question to Juan Vargas, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander, I'll tell you right now, there's only one jackass here that picks Bulbasaur as a starter. He's Salvadorian and it rhymes with Willis.
What a hell yeah!
I don't know. Charmander all the way, baby.
And then you know what's
Bulbasaur
funny?
forever.
Miguel in the chat also asked if Paintsill was late to the game. Goody, it was only like an hour before the game.
It was like an hour and probably like an hour 30. No,
No.
yeah, an hour. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It was an hour.
So I think that's pretty late. I would think players get there a lot earlier than that.
You could tell he was running late.
But I think to answer your question though, I think I didn't like a lot. I felt very uneasy in the first half. I felt at times that we weren't doing as good of a job. Well, they try to play us just like they played LAFC, but I think the one thing that LAFC was like they were able to extend their defense, Seattle's defense more, and find space and force Stephen Fry into saves. But we didn't do that. I feel like they pulled the same thing against us, and we didn't know what to do. There was a lot of forced balls from multiple players. A lot of just like, in my opinion, easy turnovers and no creativity. I can't call out any players that stood out. I want to say the half chance we got was from Dayon, and I don't even remember how that happened, really, but it was out of nothing. And not much to like, and it's, for being the home team, a lot to not like. So I'll go with that.
On this game versus Seattle.
No, because this game, I honestly didn't think we had that many shots. It felt like we didn't. And
7-4 in that first half.
yeah, that's why.
He shot on target.
No, just in general.
Oh.
Let me give you
Just
the
in
target.
general, yeah.
The target ones, 2 on target from us, and then 3 on their part.
And one of them was that half chance that Dayon did.
Yeah, so it just felt like it was a weird feeling because you were like, okay, well, I think we're dominating, but then it's like, wait, no, not really. And they had the most dangerous plays in the first half. Yamane was getting eaten alive in that fucking left side, dude, or his right side, I guess. I don't know. It was a weird feeling, and every minute passed, I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
This might not happen.
And I want to touch on that what Willis said about the wings too. I forgot about that. They're finding space. McCarthy had to get a save in early from Rusnak, I think it was, right? It felt like we were getting schmetzered, right, Willis?
Both Willis and Eddie are well, not negative, but they were very worried in his first half. Were you comfortable in his first half, seeing what you how the game was going?
No, not at all. I actually mentioned that earlier. Sorry, I'm having a little lag here. Um, no, I wasn't comfortable at all. I felt that I love the energy LA Galaxy came out with at the beginning, but I just felt like Seattle did everything possible to make things uncomfortable and muck things up. Uh, and I guess the one big positive was that LA Galaxy didn't concede a goal in the first half either. So that was good. We were concerned. We kept hearing about how Seattle was so good in set pieces. I think they had scored the most goals off set pieces this season. And we know we've heard so many times about Galaxy's adventures defending set pieces. So it was one thing that was definitely not just in my mind, because I'm sitting there quietly watching the game and thinking to myself about this, and I would hear people around me saying the same thing, like, oh god, Seattle's so good in set pieces. Oh look, they got a corner. Oh look, they got a free kick. um, so that was on my mind, but I don't know. It was very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. I know I went to go grab a drink at the half because I was like, man, I need a drink,
Yeah.
and I never do that. So
Just like Miguel said, dude. Here in the chat, how would anyone have been comfortable with? How could anybody be comfortable in that first half?
I can tell you how, because there was a defender by the name of Emilio Garces who was having a game in that first half. Regardless of whatever Seattle was trying to throw at us, he was there. He matched up with Morris's speed al tu por tu. There was no way Morris was going to get around him. He tried, did not succeed. On the offensive side, yeah, I'm with you guys. It seemed like whatever Seattle's plan was worked, um, and it left us at donuts at that half. But my biggest thing was the whole thing with Amito, the defense in general. I mean, yeah, Yamana was getting burned, but Amito was there to cover all the tracks, and what a player that we picked up in this season. So the half ends 0-0. Edgar go gets a drink. Willis, how many drinks did you get?
Two on hand, one in the chamber. Yeah, nervous, man. It was nervous, but one of the things that you mentioned that you did like, I would like to mention one thing that I did like, and that was the wing play on our part as well. I think Paintsill was having some success on his side, so
Yeah,
it felt like we were shutting down our left side, and they were shutting down our left side. So both of the wingers on opposite sides were having good play. They were having success, and Galaxy was having success on Paintsil's side. He the one that provided one of the crosses for that. I think it was for the was it for the Jovic? No, it wasn't. It was one of the crosses, but I
yeah,
mean that's one of the things I did like about that first half. Other than that, I mean it was just back and forth game, monkey game, like Edgar mentioned. So
yeah. And to touch on the paint cell thing, there was a play. Can't remember the minute that it was. I actually watched the game earlier today before coming on just to try to refresh my memory, and it didn't. But there was a part where Ricky Poos had at least three defenders on him. He had received the ball on the defensive half. He kept dribbling, cutting, dribbling, cutting. He megged some guy, sends the ball long, and then Jovic kind of just knocks it over him and puts Paintsill clear into space. Uh, that was something that we probably could have taken more advantage of in that first half because, like Willis said, that Paintsill was just cutting it on that left side. Not sure why they left him that open, but he was having some success. Second half starts. We see a sub. You guys mentioned it earlier that Marco Reus was probably had picked up an injury maybe during that first half, and he subs out for Mark Delgado. Edgar, was that the proper sub to bring in, or would you have wanted to bring in a Brugman to maybe give it a little bit more uh, long balls, defend a little better, maybe put a little bit of toughness in that center mid?
no, I thought it was the right move because remember we got to remember that Seattle players were looking pretty gassed after that game against LAFC. So at this point, I think the idea was, okay, we're not going to score on them that easily, so let's wear them down. Let's wear them down, and you're gonna the way to wear them down is to keep going at them, trying to find a way to either create some chaos in the box or make things difficult for them and their defensive third. Um, and going on the defense, falling back on defense isn't going to help you because you don't want to give them that either. So you just gotta keep pushing. And so I felt that yeah, it was the right move. I really wish Roche could have gone a bit longer, but obviously, like we said, he's always injured. When he played the full 90, he's fantastic, like he did against LAFC. But I don't know how often we're gonna get to see that.
Yeah. In the second half, the possession stats were way closer than I would have liked and maybe imagined. The possession stats in the second half was 50-49. So these guys were going neck and neck. Um,
So
something
about
that I in the first half, because I saw the game from the mezzanine, and I thought the LA Galaxy looked slightly better than Seattle. And then that second half started, and I actually felt more uncomfortable watching this match in the second half. Would you agree with that sentiment, Eddie, or did you see it something different?
no, I definitely. I felt like yeah, from the start of the second half, we didn't look like that second half team. We've been uh, we've built that reputation to be. It felt like we were the away team for a good while, dude. I was just it was quiet. You know what? It got quiet for a bit because I remember standing next to Sam and David, and I don't know if Guti was there yet, but we were just if it was Guti's telling me no, it was like quiet, dude. It was like tense. Like you're like, what the fuck is happening? Um, and by the way, we got the game playing in the background, so that reaction I made. How Rodon said that it was an injury that happened on its own in the 63rd minute. It does. It's pretty bad. He takes like a bad step, and it's pretty ugly. So it definitely wasn't a hit. That totally sucks. But no, yeah, it was super uncomfortable. I think especially because we're known to be that second half team, so we all expected being at home. It was like, all right, here we go. We saw what happened against Lavos. These guys are gonna be tired. We're the second half team. Let's turn it up. And nope, we got stuck on neutral. It feels like coming out. Pop the clutch. Pop the clutch.
Was doing is get the ball to Georgie Minongo. He's the guy who was going on the wings up against Yamane. He keep in mind, this is one of the young guys, right, that they had, and the guy that he had replaced was Obed Vargas, who we heard, he was injured, right? He didn't play in this game. Obed Vargas is a young player who Cameron said, um, had to choose between USA and Mexico. I think he was with the US, but now he switched to Mexico, and that he expects Vargas to end up being in Europe in the next 3 years. So he's injured, and the guy that steps in for him is Georgie Minongo from Cote d'Ivoire, from Ivory Coast. And my God, this dude, first of all, this dude is big and he's fast, and he was going at Yamane. My God, this guy was like twice Yamane's size, and we were thinking like, do something, Mickey. And he was, he just made life so difficult for him. If it wasn't for Emilio Garces jumping in to mop things up or to back up Yamane, um, it would have been pretty ugly because I easily could see Minongo whipping a pass into a streaking Rusnak or to Morris, and that would have made things a lot difficult. There is something that we have to say that did make a huge factor in this game, and nobody said anything about it. Is that Albert Rusnak got injured?
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah. He
down
did.
for a while, and people were saying, "Oh, he's just, it's just like
Literally.
he's trying to get a foul. I mean, he's trying to get somebody to get carded." But no, that dude was legit injured. Got subbed off, and for a Seattle team that was already limping into this game, this was probably like one step too far, and they lost one of their attacking weapons, and it was all going to fall on Jordan Morris. And how often is Jordan Morris going to get up and try to do something when now he's the only focus of the attack? So yeah, that was really difficult for them.
Yeah, and I mean, blessed us because Albert Rusnak is a very very talented offensive player and somebody that could have really hurt
Oh,
us
No, no, it's hurted it.
That's hurt.
in that second half because, like you said, the game was tense. And from my vantage point of watching this match, yeah, I did get a little quiet, and it seemed like people were on edge. How was it at the Lobos Estate, my brother?
The Lovels estate was tense. One person watching it, me. Because I had the in-laws, so I had to lock myself in the room, and yeah.
He was in the panic room. Son.
I was doing the old get set up right and the controller, and then
Game mode on.
That's how I was.
You gotta get your FIFA on. But yeah, man, it was tense, and like Edgar mentioned, Georgie on their left side, which was Yama on his right side, which he's just having his day, man, and I think that's what really made me nervous in that second half, because that second half he really opened things up for them.
Yeah.
And I think Rusnak in that second half had his shot as well. Luckily, he shot it straight at McCarthy, but that was one of the most dangerous plays that they had. And I thought honestly that he would have finished that. And had they put that one in, I think it would have been game over. They would have suffocated the Galaxy with their defense, and it would have been done. That would have killed the momentum for us for sure. So, yeah, the good thing they didn't score, and we did.
I actually want to ask the guys on the side, the special guest, how clenched was your anus at the half or at the moment of the second half?
Extremely, extremely. Like I said, I went into this game super worried. I was literally like on the side when everyone else was there like, watching the New York Red Bulls game. While everyone else was watching the New York Red Bulls game, I was like kind of like on the side. I was worried, dude. Like, and the way we played in that first half wasn't great, and honestly, that second half wasn't a little bit better. I think once we brought in Mark Delgado, I feel like I kind of I feel like once he came in, like we got a little bit better, but Seattle just had us on lockdown pretty much. Trying to get. But but it's like like I said, Seattle. I feel like they had us on lockdown, and it's in the name, bro. Like they said, pretty much all season, it's the best defensive team in the league, and they showed it pretty much up to the 85th minute.
Nah. Well, like you asked me before the game, how confident was I? I was feeling pretty confident. I was thinking that Chuchito. What was I? Yeah. I was thinking it was gonna be like a 3-1 game for the Galaxy. Tough to get those 3 points, but I was wrong on that one. Again, 1-0 game. But as it went into the second half, that's when I got a little bit more worried. I was like, oh man, all right, well, my prediction is not coming out. I could see Seattle's dominating more, and all of the hits that we've been taking on the field, it was getting to us too. So I was getting like a little worried about it at that point.
As the second half wore on, and that is one of I don't know if it was Cameron, but somebody I spoke to during the week mentioned that they felt the game was gonna go to penalties, and that the way that Seattle was gonna prevail was taking the game to penalties, and then they were just gonna win because the stat that I got, and I think Cameron mentioned it, was Stephen Fry has not allowed a penalty shot goal the entire season. I mean, not that he's gonna shut out somebody in a penalty kick shootout, but our guys already have trouble, even putting the ball in frame. So that would have been horrendous. And I don't know if Seattle was playing for to get to penalties because they were hurting on offense. They were hurting in every aspect, but it got to the point where it's like one of those like high profile boxing matches where like the first person that slips up is gonna take the knockdown, and the first one to blink in this match was gonna lose, and that's what happened. It was one mistake, and that's all it took, and it could happen to either team.
Yeah,
it could happen to either team.
And a lot of respect to Fry. He even in that goal that
Great saves.
Joveljic scored, he still was able to get a hand into it, and in that first half, another De Jong shot that it seemed like it was getting away from him in the far post, and he was able to get a mitt on that. And
Yeah.
but in the head to head between McCarthy and Fry, there were 4 saves apiece. Let's give our goalkeeper some credit too. I know we've all season was speculated and talked and like, oh, we could probably get a better goalkeeper. Oh, Mikovic this, Mikovic that. Well, Stephen Fry has been more than serviceable for this team. And in this match, he had, he was tested
You
early.
mean John McCarthy, right?
John McCarthy. Who did I say?
You
Mikovic.
said Stephen Fry.
Stephen
My
Fry.
bad. Well, look, he's an elite keeper too. So
¿Quién le vas?
El Galaxy. Yeah, John McCarthy. I mean, we got to give him his credit. And in this match, he was tested early, and he was able to step up to the plate and create those saves. And if we were to have gone to penalties,
Yeah, we lose. Come
lose.
on.
But
Yeah,
in game,
Get that elephant out of the room.
in
We'll
game
have
though,
lost.
Yeah,
in
no,
game
so
though, he was able to step it up and do his work. Yes, Guti. My bad.
I think
cut you off.
good. Yeah, we would have lost, but I'll tell you one thing: we probably would have had like a goalkeeper battle, like we were. I think both keepers are good at penalties. I think Stephen Fry has a little problem. I think they have mentioned it during the midweek show that he likes to step off out of his line for quite a little bit, and like I said, I think both of them are both great penalty stoppers. We saw what John McCarthy did with those fools up to fucking 110, in MLS Cup 2 years ago, and yeah, I think it would have been like a hell of a fucking penalty shootout. But honestly, yeah, we probably would have lost of knowing how bad we are at scoring penalties.
Facts.
Question here regarding Maya. We'll get to that in a bit because I think that's probably an important question. But let's get into that goal. In the 80, what was it? Hold on, let me
86, I think.
85, 86.
85th minute.
85th minute.
85th minute.
Ricky Puig.
Well, there was a turnover first.
San Puig.
Puig. What was that, Edgar?
There was a turnover that led to that.
Yeah, there was a turnover that led to that. Was it Cerillo that
Delgado
that gave the pass to Ricky? Mm-hmm. And then Ricky puts El Bishop, the Bishop, Dejan Joveljic into space.
The Serbian god.
The
Nice
Serbian.
3-toed pass, by the way.
El Pistolero.
El Pistolero.
Three toes and one knee.
One knee.
Yeah, true. True. Puts him in space. And I'm going to tell you guys this. This is our forward. Fuck your we need a forward shit. Fuck your we need a forward shit. In the most important match up to date, being doubted all season, Dejan Joveljic puts past Stephen Fry, who is arguably one of the best keepers in MLS. I'm going to start with you, Eddie.
Sure.
At that moment,
Lewandowski, here we come.
how hard were you?
I should probably see a doctor because, it's been 12 hours now.
24 hours, bro.
I didn't even know I was into Serbians, but anyways, no, what a striker's finish, right? It's what we want, right? What we've been wanting from him, and we don't get to see it consistently. That's where like the whole we need a striker comes from. But you got, of course, all credit, and someone said that he got Stephen Fry got a hand on it, and maybe it wasn't the hardest strike, but the fact that the reason why he scores that goal is because as soon as he receives that ball, bang, he just
The power.
like a striker, bro, like a striker, and just like we haven't seen too much of him from as crazy as it sounds with all the goals he has. We haven't seen those type of striker goals from him too often this season. But what a fucking finish, dude. That's what we need. And I think it's a half chance. Of course, a great ball, but he still has that defender in front of him. So, yeah, dude, great fucking finish. Very I guess you could see the similarities to the Juninho goal that got us through to the final the last time, out of nowhere and down in the same corner. Only difference was it hit a glove instead of a post.
including playoffs. Dejan Jovic has 20 goals, 6 assists, 5 of those goals coming in playoffs. And the most important one, the 20th goal, is the one that puts us to the final. I know Edgar is a big Jovic fan. Give him his flowers, sir.
He's in a toxic relationship with Jovic.
Hey,
Give him his
Jovelich,
flowers.
man.
Go
Jovelich.
ahead.
Put some respect on his name, man. It's Jovelich.
All of a sudden,
So,
Go ahead, Edgar.
no, it's just like Eddie said it perfectly. It's like you keep asking him to do these kind of things during the regular season, but not just in one match or two matches, but consistently, so that you can erase any doubt that he could be your consistent go-to guy at that position. And that's the one thing we've been asking for, because think about some of the teams that have some of the best strikers in the league, and these are guys that don't show up just for one game or two. They show up throughout the entire season. But the one thing I will say that's been really important is that these guys, not just Jovic, but some of the other players, have stepped up their game in the playoffs, and that's what you want. That's the mark of a championship team. Think about in the past how a good example is Mike McGee, right? Mike McGee, Mr. Clutch, especially in the playoffs, right? He would have like a pretty decent season, and then come the playoffs, the guy would turn into a beast, and he would score amazing goals left and right, and that's what you want. And thank you so much, Daniel Velic. Hopefully, he sees this and he understands how important it is to bring this kind of commitment, this kind of um, attack to every game, not just when it counts the most.
5 goals in the playoff, Willis. What more can you say about Dejan Jovic? Jovic or Jovic?
Jovelich,
Jovic.
Jovelich.
Joveljic.
Let's just go with Decky. Yeah.
Decky.
Nah, let's go with mustard. I mean, that's what I yelled when he scored. So, yeah, dude. I mean, this game in itself, there wasn't much going for him just because the Galaxy was being stifled on offense. So, for him to pull that out of his bag, and for Ricky, after what we found out, knowing that he had suffered that injury and still made that play, I think that makes that play even more so incredible, because for him to make that pass on one leg and then for Jovic to have done nothing the whole game and bring this kind of strike at that moment with 5 minutes left on the clock, like Eddie said, it was a striker's strike. And Fry got a hand to it and was still not able to push it away. So that tells you that the strike was strong and it was effective. And that's all we needed from Jovic all year. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to do it all year due to injuries, being in slumps, whatever, what have you. And then this is the moment that we needed it, and we got it. So I personally think that Jovic is our striker. I think this shows that he is ready for those big moments. And I am predicting another similar strike for the MLS Cup winner.
Let's go, baby. A special guest. How much did you guys cry when that goal went in?
It's actually a funny story. Over 106,
Better laugh.
there's a certain someone that's sitting next to me, and she turns to me. He's so adorable."
Man, how many pictures you have?
Right? Where's he getting these from?
This is kind of concerning now.
Choose like Lester. He's a hacker, bro.
So yeah, like the game was going on long, and it's 0-0, and someone turns to me and she goes, "Where's Dejan at? He hasn't been anywhere." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And as soon as she said that, and we're like,
What's going on? Eddie frozen in that same pose
we're
again.
celebrating over there with everyone around us, front and back. It was great.
I think.
Hey, Eddie, pay your net zero count, bro.
Oh,
told you last
Wait,
week.
can you guys
Pay
hear
your
us?
debts,
No
bro.
way, bro.
I don't want to tell the story anymore.
Yeah, fuck that
Wait, can you guys
story.
hear us? No? Not yet?
Yeah, now we
I made a
can.
chip.
Now
Oh,
we
never
can.
mind.
Okay, you guys missed the whole story. That sucks.
Okay, pues. Basically,
You missed
Cisco
the
said
whole
that
story.
there was a girl next to him that said,
All right, so there was someone sitting next to me, right? And she goes and turns to me and she goes, "Where's Dejan? He hasn't been here. He hasn't showed up all game." And right as she finished saying that, everyone starts yelling and screaming because Dejan, sure enough, puts one in the back of the net, you know? And we're like, whoa. It was like, hey, he shut you up right there. You know, it was great.
"Damn, perdón."
I promise it was funnier the first time.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
You had to be there. You had to be there.
Yeah.
You guys killed like my juju, my vibes right there. Or the internet did.
1-0 at the end of the match.
I didn't even get to tell mine. Just kidding.
Oh yeah,
Fuck me,
I
right?
assumed you just
Yeah,
cried the
bro.
whole time. Go ahead.
First of all, banger after bang. God damn it. Banger after banger after banger after banger. By the way, if you're gonna show that pig, at least show the full pig, bro. We gotta show that kid too that's in the background because it was just funny. But for the first time,
Big head.
there's a big head, bro. For the first time, I believe in almost 2 years, I literally celebrated like a legit, like hardcore goal like that. I was telling Eddie earlier, and he was making fun of me that the last goal that I ever celebrated like super hard was in the World Cup when Mexico scored that free kick, just to lead to us to get knocked out, pretty much. Yeah, pura verga, bro. I like I said, I was sitting on top, and I was by myself. And when we scored, I was literally jumping all over the place. Literally, like I feel like I was gonna tear down the top deck, pretty much. But I was hyped after that. I pretty much went down to kind of towards the Lars area with Eddie, and waited for the rest of the game to finish.
Felt like an hour. I was in my seats thinking that these last extra minutes were gonna go by fast. Nope. It seemed like time slowed down so much. Butts were clenched. My hands were firmly gripped. And it is the final whistle blew. And everybody around me shed a tear. I was sitting in 119, I believe. And everybody was crying. I got hugged. I hugged some random people. I wanted to cry, but I wasn't drunk. So I cried in my mind with them. Willis, you weren't at the stadium. The rest of us were. Were you crying?
No, I was not crying.
Boo, this man.
Kick him out.
You're a real fan.
I was not crying, and the reason why was because I was bippity bobbity. No, I wasn't crying because I was ecstatic. I was just ear to ear, smile, and I walk out, and my in-laws and my wife see me, and they're like, "Why are you smiling?" So
Did
I
you
was
win,
just-
son?
basically.
Are you winning, son?
So it was just happiness that it was a happiness that I haven't felt in a long time for my team. It was a proud moment. I didn't cry just because I don't know. I just didn't cry, bro. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'll cry in fucking finals. How about that?
There it is. Yay.
Yay.
I think you came out happy, smiling. What did you just see? Oh, some Serbian guy clap an American.
No, he's not. He's not American.
He's not American.
Oh, Swedish. Swedish?
What is?
Serbian.
1-0, gentlemen. One more game to go.
Uno más.
Uno más. Let's get some awards out. We usually start with the game is off. Is there somebody here that wants to give a
Yes.
game is off?
Yeah, I'll do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think you can pick
Yeah.
a couple.
Go ahead.
I'll start it. I'm gonna go. Well, you know what? I'll go second because I have two. That way we can be different. Go ahead, Edgar.
I was gonna say Yamane. I feel like he was overwhelmed. It sucks because I mean I don't know if it's really his fault because the guy that he had to take on was like twice his size and had speed on top of it. So that bodes well for Seattle for their future. Got to keep an eye on that guy because they're going to unleash him against not just Yamane but other wingbacks in the future. But yeah, I feel like he had Yamane in his back pocket for portions of the game, and Yamane was scrambling to get back, and then there was times when he would try to match him, and then the guy would cut back and leave Yamane in the dirt, and I was like, "Ooh, goodness." Um, so yeah, I just felt like Mickey was a little bit throwing, like it felt like he was just kind of like trying to thread water in the deep end, and it wasn't looking so good for him. And it's something that I'm sure Red Bull New York is going to look at, and they might even target him in MLS Cup. So keep an eye on that. Whatever matchup Yamane gets for MLS Cup.
Eddie, you said you had a different one.
Yeah, because actually Yamane was the other one, so I figured it was one of there. Royce couldn't keep up to the pace of the game, injured or not. He's smarter than that. So yeah, Marco Royce, hell yeah, that's a sick ass.
Bien pensativo.
No, listen
No hay
to
nada más difícil.
anyways. But yeah, it's Marco Royce. He just was kind of unimpactful dude, and I expected a lot more from him, and I thought it was very important for him to start, and it was he wasn't up for the pace of the game, and name me a time where anything that he did that helped us in this game. There's not much to talk about, and he's not a defender, so when you don't have nothing to say, it's not a good thing.
Coach as well, and that is, how we like to say that he comes to the field and he brings like a calming presence, and he usually 99% of the time doesn't look flustered. It looks like he already knows what he's gonna do, like two steps ahead. Man, he was rushing, they were like chasing him around the field, and he did not look comfortable. We keep saying that, that feeling of being uncomfortable. Royce
Yeah.
did not look comfortable out there. It looked like he was being run down and chased, and it felt like, yeah, it wasn't
And
definitely wasn't his game.
another thing too, and then I'm gonna ask this to Edgar because, or
What's that?
maybe Willis. I know Brian has the
Ask
rose
Willis.
colored
Ask
glasses.
Willis.
I do have rose-colored glasses.
If not for the assist, can you have argued Ricky would have been the Geo Award winner
No,
too?
nope, nope.
So yeah, that's why I didn't ask you.
I,
That's exactly why I didn't ask you. Look at Willis. He said, yeah. You could make an argument, right?
Yeah, you can make an
And it's,
argument.
and it's not just him. Obviously, we mentioned two other players that had a bad game. So calm down, right? But I just, you got to point out that he didn't really have a great game either.
Yeah. To be fair, I think we all have a different Geo award, so that's kind of kudos to what Seattle was wanting to do.
Yeah.
Because my Geo award is different from your guys' as well.
What is it?
My Geo award is actually going to go to Gabriel Beck.
Oh,
How many times did you hear his name called the whole
Wow.
game?
leave my Becky alone?
He really did not have an impact on this game,
No.
and that was by design. Nuhu was on him all night.
Yeah, knew who was a beast.
Nuhu was on him all night, man, and you can tell he was uncomfortable because Nuhu's a big dude and he's fast, so he's able to keep up with his pace and outbody him just about every time, and he really did. And this, I feel like it's not so much that Peg played a bad game; it's just that Nuhu had a great game, dude. And unfortunately, just Peg wasn't performing like we're used to, right? In these playoffs, these last two games, he has been phenomenal, and this just was not his night. But that's kudos to Seattle, the way they played. There was a game plan, and they stuck to it, and it worked for them. But I am gonna give it to Gabriel Beck just because, we expected more from him, and he wasn't impactful for this game.
And actually, on who scored, they have Royce and Paintsale as the lowest rated players.
Yeah. Let's ask the special guest, Guti, who was your game is off for this match?
The Dignity Health Sports Park. Not only the bus driver and the.
Oh yeah.
Efra?
Yes, sir.
Efra?
Super hornies right there.
That's not looking good,
What's up? Efra looking stacked, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, the people who were the guy who was driving the bus and Dignity Health Sports Park. What's going on? Traffic directors, what the hell their names is? Yeah, they were horrible. How dare they do that to Paint Still? That's messed up.
um, that's kind of hard for me. I don't think Yamane. I think he stood up pretty good. He was paired up with Georgie, was he? If we could hold him off and still have a 0 game, I think that's a pretty good on our defense. So I think that's a lot of pictures of my boy.
I'm telling you, bro. Chewy's like Lester, dude.
It's like
it's like
Chewy comes over when I'm not
What is
not at home and takes
what is
pictures.
that fucking 1 hour photo?
Oh, he keeps the pictures.
Yeah, Robert Williams over here and shit.
I would have to go with Garo Peck. He was very quiet. He didn't get through. He got punked, threw off his game. I think I'll pick him.
Yeah. And the award is called Game is Off. And what we're used to from Gabriel Peck, yeah, Willis and Tony. Cisco. You guys are right.
Call me Tony. Damn.
It was hard for me to give any specific award because we did come out with a win on the defensive side.
Ricky.
Never Ricky. On the defensive side, we kept the team at 0. On the offensive side, I mean, we could have expected a little bit more from Gabriel Peck, Joseph Paintsill. Can't say Bioblic because he ended up scoring the game winner, and Ricky gave the assist.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, interesting fact that what was his name?
For Georgie?
Georgie Wap.
Yeah. I guess he had got an eye infection a little while ago, and it never really quite healed after a surgery, so he's blind on his left eye. And even with all that, he still showed up and put in a shift.
Okay, then Yamane's game is off because of one eye. Come on, bro.
No, we still hold him off to 0. A 0 game.
You're gonna tell me a
1-0.
pirate just ran over you whenever you wanted? That's not
I
good.
mean, Alpha's a big pirate compared to Yamane. Leave my little dude alone. Come on.
Damn it. Poor Yamane. All right, boys. The honorable mention, the You've Got Hartman Award. I want to give it to 2 people, but I want to see what you guys say first. Let's start with Willis this time.
The Hartman Award. Ooh. There was a lot of people who really come to mind.
There's only one right answer.
Yeah, true. Is there? Really? Well, for me, I think it's going to be Emilio Garces. Emilio Garces played a hell of a game, man. Covered for Yamane when he wasn't able to cover Georgie, Fetty Wap, whatever, Georgie Wap. Man, what a pickup that has been for us, right? And we actually didn't even think he would ever play a game with us. You guys remember that?
He didn't exist for a while.
That was a thing. I was like, man, is this guy really gonna play for us, or is this like a next year thing? But hey, he's came in for Neo and really has worked out for Vanny. And kudos to Vanny for realizing that and keeping him in there. His speed and his presence is really needed next to Yoshida because Yoshida does have tired legs. He's an older dude, and Emilio really he's the eraser, dude. He just cleans everything up, bro. And he was cleaning everything up on that right side. So Emilio Garces for me.
I just go next because I'm a piggyback. Just
Yeah, go ahead.
get out of the way. It's Garces. It's got to be Garces, dude. He played 3 positions. He covered for whenever whenever Yamane was 2 steps behind and whenever Yoshida was 2 steps behind. He was 2 steps ahead. So it's not just his pace, dude. He's also smart. He sees these things unfolding and he puts himself in a position to save this team. And yeah, it's crazy how long we had to wait to see this guy, and kudos to the coaching staff, for whatever reason why they kept it a secret or held out on us for so long, worked out. So Garces is, along with Royce, well now more Garces, if we win the championship on Saturday, he's a big X factor and why we won.
Edgar.
I was thinking of some other people, but listening to you guys talking about Garces kind of convinced me about him as well. But there's something else I wanted to add to that, and that's the impact that he's had on this club. I think I shared with with Nag Boys about how a podcaster, writer, journalist from the East who covers Atlanta United contacted me during the week to ask me about Carlos Miro Garces and asked me why is it that he didn't start getting like real significant minutes until midway through September. So I did the research, right, and in my explanation, which I'm not going to share right here because it's pretty long, I was kind of breaking down the situation with Jalen Neal and all that other stuff. But then I got to this one stat, and I did the research, right. Since he has come in as a starter, the LA Galaxy has not lost a game. Well, they only lost one game, and that was that match on decision day where Steres scored that game that goal at the death. But that's the only game he's lost. I mean, that's the only game Galaxy has lost with him as the starter. Galaxy have won every other game with him, and it just shows that kind of impact that he's had because man, he's defense. He's quick. He's smart. He's got a good footballing IQ. He's young, and he's not afraid. He's fearless, and you love to see that in a center back because a center back position can sometimes be a bit terrifying, and you gotta completely shut your mind down when you're playing a center back and just go and do the scary things that nobody else wants to do and step up for your teammates when they mess up. It's got a lot
Yeah,
of heart, man.
yeah, definitely.
Go ahead and say Ricky, Brian.
No. I'm gonna shoot it down. I'm gonna shoot it to the churro man, Cisco.
Well, that's my pick right there. Is Ricky? You go in there, and that's to me, that's the definition of heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
Finally. Man, where are these pictures coming
What the
from?
fuck?
Ese
Lucky
man
I
es
saw-
pizza.
It's the side plates, man. Look at those side plates.
With Ricky getting hurt and playing, what was it, like another 20, 30 minutes on that injured knee. And that's something you have to dig down deep. And not only did he dig down deep, he helped us get that goal with the assist to, Dejan. And to me, he deserves it.
Yes, sir. Coutinho.
First of all, fool, me and you for that title. Just saying. And
You would get fucking destroyed.
no, fool. Trying me, bro.
Hey, birthday
Prize
soup
me.
match. Birthday soup match. Let's go.
I'm gonna go with Mark Delgado.
Picture they put
For those listening to the audio later on, we're just posting a bunch of pictures of these guys, and they're ridiculous, funny, and very adorable.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
watch it on
Yeah,
YouTube
Alex-
instead, guys.
yeah,
Watch it on
Alex-
YouTube
yeah.
instead.
I'm not gonna lie, that picture is pretty sexy. But anyways, what I was saying, yeah, to me, I think Delgado. I think him coming in for Royce kind of helped us out in the middle,
Yeah.
and definitely, yeah, I think to me him just. Oh yeah, like I said, I fucking can't even speak right now. Him coming in played a huge role, and it helped us out a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like Delgado deserved it. Again,
You guys mentioned Emilio Garces, Ricky Puig, Mark Delgado, but we got to mention the guy between the post. I did mention this earlier that John McCarthy and Stephen Fry had 4 saves apiece. Stephen Fry, obviously the better keeper throughout his MLS career. But in this match, John McCarthy said, I could go toe-to-toe with you, sir. I could make the same saves. I could keep my post with no balls behind the net. And he was able to do that in this match. I know a lot of credit is going to go to Amito for just being a solidified beast in that back line. But when he's not there and let's say Yamana gets beat or Yoshida gets beat, John McCarthy was there to put a hand on it. And for me, I think he has to get some love. For me, he gets the Heartman. Back to you guys.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Let's go with the most prestigious award in all of MLS. The legendary next standing player of the match. Will this be a sweep?
How could it not be?
Will this be a sweep?
How could it not be?
Go ahead, Eddie.
It was Marco Royce. Oh, I froze right on time.
Perfect
That's what you
timing.
get, man. That's what you
Oh,
get. Look at
oh
that.
my
Look at that
goodness.
pose too.
There it is.
He posed again.
All right. Anyways, no, it's Decky, of course, man.
Yeah.
Dejan Jovalic, stunning on these hoes.
Yep.
Bro, moments, right? Moments.
Moments.
David next to me said that we needed this type of game, right? In the championship run, a grind out win because we just rolled over
Facts.
everybody, and you needed that special moment, bro. And that it was supplied by Dejan Jovalic. To me, that's a half chance. You know, still it's a great ball, but I still think it's a half chance. And Dejan did what we've been asking for in the biggest moments. He said, "I'm the future," and I guess he finally showed up and he finally shut a lot of our mouths. So, Dejan, this one's for you.
Yeah. Does anybody have anybody different in this match?
No.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna take y'all's honorable mentions, and I'm gonna say Garces. I'm gonna say as next standing because just him overall since the first minute, bro. He was just the wall that we needed, especially with Seattle pretty much trying to catch us on the counter and them trying to play. I think he did amazing. Of course, I'm gonna give credit to Dayon. Of course, he deserves that spot, but I'm gonna be that different guy and be the weirdo and say Garces.
It's fair though because then you don't get to create that moment.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
one goal.
without those stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody else got somebody different?
Mustard.
Yeah, definitely Dejan Jovalic. And it acts for me. It acts extra sauce to all the murmurs going around with needing to forward and this and that. Remind you, this Quail
That's
Man.
what I'm
Quail
talking about. Hell yeah.
man.
I am Quail Man, and just believe that I did stuff that
The honey one?
Quail Man.
I'm coming. I'm just gonna come as hard as I can.
Always do, baby. Quail Man style. Dejan Jovalic before the playoffs was in 15 goals, 6 assists. That's 21 tallies to put his team ahead in matches that were important. Comes into the playoffs, scores 4, comes into the Western Conference Finals, scores the most important goal in the last decade for the LA Galaxy. Let's shut that down. This is our forward. This is what we've been wanting to see from Dejan Jovalic. We need this man in order to get that number 6, La Sexta, because we want
Quiero
that.
sexto. Quiero sexto.
Quiero el sexto, and without him, I don't think we'd be in this position. So Dejan Jovalic, you're the man, sir. Eddie, do you have some questions for us, sir?
Sure. I'll get questions.
But before you get in, I'll let you do that. But I'm gonna answer. We're gonna preview the one that we had on the chat from Zuniga A. Maya is a great leader, but man, I feel like he was always 1 or 2 steps behind the Sounders' attack. Should we consider bringing in Neil for the New York Rebels attack?
Oh no, absolutely,
Absolutely
not.
not. Absolutely not.
No. Big moment. No, big
No.
moment, bro. No. Who was that?
I
Zuniga
mean,
A.
unless it's an injury, you don't want to mess with that back line right now because they've developed a synergy throughout the playoffs
Mhm.
that you don't want to mess with. You don't want to mess with those ingredients at this point. It's what got you here, and these guys they know what they're doing. So hopefully Maya stays healthy, and uh, if there are adjustments that need to be made, and I'm sure Vanny and his coaching staff are gonna figure it out. What the heck is that?
Ooh.
That's a weird filter you got there, Eddie. I mean, if you're not watching, there's something strange there. It looks like some kind of like Eastern European art there you find on a wall somewhere in a broken down Soviet nation. Oh, there he's back. Never mind.
He's back. It's not to say that Jalen Neal is a bad player, but if he hasn't played in these playoffs and knows what the intensity is, you can't just throw him out there doing solo right away to play in a final. Yeah, he might be hyped, But um, Yoshida, as slow as you might see him, you see him with that calming presence in the back. This man is the captain for a reason. When he yells at you, it's because you know you fucked up. And those are the type of players that you need in these type of big games. And I mean, could we have a faster center back? Yeah. But veteran presses,
We
it's
do have a faster
always
center back, man.
now we do with
Yeah.
Garces. And so now Yoshi could just kind of direct, and that's what you need, especially because he sees the game from the back. From the center back position,
Yoshi.
you're able to see everything from the back. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
super chat.
give me that twinkle.
Do the tingle.
Highway.
Oh, do the tingle.
Ah. Super chat.
Awesome.
He
That's
says
cool.
Forsberg would grill Neil.
Forsberg.
Yeah, from New York.
Let me be clear. Emil Forsberg is, if you guys haven't heard about him, he's like he's one of the DPs over there at Red Bull
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's so cold blooded that he left his wife and kid and behind in Europe and completely ignored them, and to the point where his wife had to contact him on social media, and she was like, "Hey, what the heck? Did you forget about us?" And he's completely ghosted them.
That was definitely from Yugoslavia. Anyway,
What?
Eddie, you have some questions for us? Oh, he's mad now and stuck on frame.
I think I froze it.
He's getting hacked by the White Six, bro.
The
Dude,
white-
they came after him yesterday. They're gonna come after him again. Oh, the
Guess
Y6 are getting poor
He
Eddie.
doesn't have the questions then.
well, while we're trying to get him online, Survivor Series was great. Nah, it wasn't. Anyway,
Super chat.
twinkle me up, Chewy.
Yo, I love this twinkle stuff though. That's
Guys,
tight.
will there be a midweek show? And who will start at Ricky's spot? Edgar, do we have a midweek? I hope we do.
Yeah, there's a couple people we definitely. I have connections of at least two, maybe three Red Bull podcasters we could talk to. I'm gonna settle that tomorrow.
Nice.
But we're definitely gonna have a midweek show. It's the most important midweek show of the year.
Hell yeah.
And as far as who will start in Ricky's spot, I mean, any one of you guys can field that question instead of me.
The logic in this question will be Diego Fagundes, because if you guys remember the last time that Ricky Puig was injured for an extended time of period, Fagundes was seamlessly came into that center attacking role, and they were successful. I think they went undefeated with him starting, if I'm
Yeah.
correct.
Yep, Galaxy did not lose a game while
We
Ricky
need that
was
one
out.
more time, baby. We need that
Yeah.
one more time.
And the thing is that it doesn't scare me for him to start, because as a
No.
well-seasoned veteran who has been around this league and knows what it takes to play that position. I know in Austin he was playing out wide, but he started in that middle with the New England. What are they called? Revolution. Losers.
Losers.
And so it could be one of those seamless fits with this squad, especially because you have players like Paintsil, like Peck, and now Jovic. I mean, you just got to feed the right guys, and I'm pretty sure he could do not what Ricky could do, because Ricky has shown that he is just a maniac in a center mid, but he's more than serviceable in this role. And especially if you have the team far enough, dude, they're going to be hyped. You're going to tell me Fagundes is not going to come in here and be like, hey, don't worry, Ricky, I got us, bro.
I mean, he's arguably a DP in other teams, so
Exactly.
he was in Austin,
Yeah.
basically.
Yay!
Hey! Oh, that's a handsome fellow right there.
Damn, fool, you are more handsome than me. Somebody said that in the chat earlier.
But
that
yeah,
line.
I mean, dude, Fagundes
Super chat.
arguably could be one of the best players in any other MLS team, and we have the luxury of bringing him off the bench.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. He's an MLS veteran. Knows the league. He knows what it takes to win games.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna be ready. He's gonna wake up ready to play that day. So I'm not worried about that. He's gonna be efficient in his own way, and he's gonna be able to create for us that day. We are gonna be missing our best player, I feel, but it's not bad to have somebody like Fagundes coming off the bench and filling in that spot. So it's gonna be tough, but I think we can pull it off. without Ricky, with Fagundes in there. See you guys next week.
And the thing is about Fagundes is that I know he hasn't played in an actual final, but since he's been in this league for so long, I'm pretty sure he could kind of get the feel of what was gonna happen in that match.
We just need it one more time, bro. One more. That's it.
Yeah,
We just need that one game, bro. He can do it. I
and
know
this
he
is,
can do it.
and
He
then
will do it.
this is the thing too. We have to give. I know we got the NAGn Standing Player off award off, but if it wasn't called the NAGn Standing Player, I would have called it the NAGn Standing Coach for this match because Vanny, throughout this whole year, throughout the whole criticism that I've given him, harsh criticism from years past, he's been an elite coach. I seen it in the chat earlier that he outcoached Smetcher in this one.
First time, because Spencer has had his number for years now.
He did
We
beat
we
Schmetzer in
won.
an MLS Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
he's-
since then, nothing.
Well, the overall record, I think, was
17.
4 wins for Vanny, like 3 draws, I think, and like 10 losses. And now it's 5 wins,
There
3
you go.
draws, and 10 losses.
So we
we have
gotta-
a super chat.
yes, sir.
Sorry.
Give me the twinkle, baby.
Let's go. Hell yeah.
Do you guys think whoever the referees will be will influence the game?
I can answer that. It's interesting. Let's compare it. I mean, we don't know who the ref is going to be yet, right? But let's compare it to the ref we just had, right? If before the game, it looked like a horror story. It looked like MLS was really stacking the deck, some like Vince McMahon kind of ish, right? Because that ref, the Drew Fisher, all time, I think all time in 21 games, Seattle had only ever lost twice with him. And with Galaxy, in 20 matches, they had lost 12 times, right? Galaxy had never ever won a game against Seattle in which Drew Fisher was officiating, and this was the first one. It was the first time for everything. So where do you go from Drew Fisher, who was named MLS Referee of the Year? Well, you never know. We might get Kevin Stott. We might get Ted Uncle.
Ted Uncle.
Whoa!
Boo that
everybody
We might
guy.
get
knew that.
Elstas, I think.
Yeah,
I
he just
forgot.
gave you a yellow for that, bro.
Fuck.
Oh, I got a yellow just for that? Damn.
Yep. That's how much. That's Ted Uncle gives yellow
We'll
cards
see.
for everything, bro.
So keep a lookout for that on Wednesday. On Wednesday morning, I'll be looking out for who the pro ref is, and then I'm gonna have those stats up, so we can talk about it as the week progresses.
Yeah, one thing about refs, I think in a final, you'd want the fairest ref to officiate this match. Of course, the LA Galaxy's favorite, but you don't want to show that favoritism to. I know that we're gonna play at home, right? And usually the home team usually gets the calls. But let's hope this referee calls it down the middle. We want to see an exciting match. We want to see the LA Galaxy earn that title. They've been undefeated at home. One more. What's one more? Right? Eddie, are you good now to go?
Yeah, I think so. By the way, I realized I feel bad for Edgar. Like he's either not attractive enough, or Chewy just or he's not interesting because Chewy has like zero collection of Edgar's pictures. So. But yeah, I got some questions. So I crashed out here for a second, so I don't know if you answered these, but I was gonna just go through the Ricky ones real quick, and then we'll circle back to that.
Yeah.
On X or Twitter, never the X, right? Kenny Rosales, what does Galaxy do now that Ricky is out with a torn ACL? Roughneck Jihad, if Royce is healthy, start him, and if he can go 60, start. Or if he can't go 60, start Fagundes. It's hard to plan for a no Ricky Galaxy. There's much less game tape and most of that before Royce. And then that's for Twitter, and then Instagram. We got a few. Through the moral lens, does Vanny have players, players to play Ricky's style, or try a totally different style and tactic? So I guess that's part of this questions. The same question. Through the moral lens, do we approach New York Red Bulls focusing on making up for Ricky, or trying to exploit the other team's weaknesses? Yeah.
Are we gonna answer these? Or you just
Yeah,
gonna read
well,
them
it's
off?
because went to the Ricky ones. They're all like Ricky's popular.
Oh yeah,
Today.
it's a hot
Riquísimo.
button topic.
Yeah, I know. So we'll come back to that one. We'll start with that one about the approach to the game. Sammy, key differences made on the team. Sorry, key differences made on the team for the turnaround and dominance throughout season. So, what were the key differences made on the team for the turnaround and the dominance throughout the season? I mentioned I mentioned Garces, and I want to say also the time that Ricky got hurt the first time, and Fagundes stepping up and showing that Vanny Ball works, and then Royce coming in and unlocking Ricky. I think all those together is what turned the season around. You guys get
I mean,
That's
we
not.
could start before the season even kicked off with the acquisitions of a Gabriel Peck and a Joseph Painso. We didn't have these type of players last season or years past where Vanny Ball was gonna work. Now he has the players where Vanny Ball works. So I think those are the main things for me that kind of turned it around. And of course, that when a player like Ricky goes down, and he did this last match, you have players like Fagundes who could start on any team. What is mentioned in the gains for mentioned on the chat. You have Fagundes, and when you have a team with depth like that, it makes it easier for Vanny to say, "Here you go. Here's your starting role today. I know you could do what I'd want you to do on the pitch, and for this team to work in a cohesive unit to get us the win."
Facts. Facts.
okay.
We have a super
Uh,
chat question.
Super
Twinkle me up, baby. Twinkle me up.
Super chat.
Lucky.
Hey yo.
¿Qué pues?
Here, I'll say it. We
Now,
have a
Brian,
$2 super chat from Adam. Adam
$2.
asks, any idea who will be the MLS Finals MVP? I've been keeping tabs on New York, and obviously, we know about LA Galaxy.
Hey, let's
Hey,
There
go.
you go, man. You,
hey,
you get
fucking,
Who's
22
that young
year.
buck?
That's me at
No que
22, man.
no.
Look at that.
No que no.
you look like
And
Turtle from
if you show
SpongeBob.
the whole picture, that's me and Ezra Hendrickson right there.
Damn, bro, you played for
Easy.
Barcelona? Sick as fool, Lucky.
Oh yeah, you like that?
Lucky.
I mean, I don't like Barcelona, but still, Lucky.
Thank you. Um, so yeah, as far as Finals MVP is concerned, I mean, we're not sightseers, right? But I mean, we're not. We can't see the future. Soothsayers is what I wanted to say. We're not soothsayers, but if anybody is gonna really step up for LA Galaxy, it has to be like a Gabriel Peck. It has to be uh,
Joseph Painter.
Dejan Jovic. We know we've been talking about how Paintil has stepped up, in the last match, and of course J Mac. And if anybody's gonna step in the middle, obviously they're gonna be an important part of this. But you want the impact players to really step forward, so you might see somebody like Peck step up and become
Yeah.
MVP.
I,
But if you're gonna talk about New York, if let's say New York wins, it might be because of somebody is scoring like a goal like Emil Forsberg. But I really do think. Hey, don't boo me, boo them, man. But I think that you guys should really pay close attention this week when you get a chance to look at Carlos Coronel, their goalkeeper. That guy is
Ooh,
insane.
yeah.
He shut down Orlando. He shut down New York. New York City. Um, he's a tremendous goalkeeper, and if you guys thought playing Seattle was hard, I mean, you're gonna get another dose of that with New York, because they kind of play the same style.
yeah,
So keep
true.
an eye on that for them.
I'll tell you who in our team wouldn't want to be Finals MVP is McCarthy because if he ends up being Finals MVP, that's
Hey,
that's
but
gonna
he's
be.
a G already, so we're good.
No,
He's a
I'm
G.
just talking about it. That's scary. That means the game was.
He had to make big saves a
He had to
lot.
make big saves.
He had to be called upon a lot.
Or we went to a penalty shootout, which would be the
Yeah,
worst.
I don't want that. No quiero. Okay,
No quiero.
Jesse. I'm gonna say Jess. Jess, sorry, Jess. I don't know. I'm not gonna pronounce his name. Just Jess. One of the supporter groups should do a chant with "Freed from Desire." They were celebrating with that song.
Edgar.
No sé.
Please no.
Cisco.
I don't know.
Nobody?
No.
Okay.
Hey,
Great question.
Keep.
Sammy, Miguel Berry scoring a game winner next week.
Oof.
That's
ooh,
my
Get
MLS Cup
ready.
MVP right there. And then
There's your,
light
you know
those
what?
there's your
candles,
finals
baby.
MVP, bro.
Yeah, you know
And
what's
their
what's one
finals
of my
MVP.
what's one of my besides winning the Sixth Cup was one of my favorite things about winning MLS Cup is that it will be MLS Cup champion Miguel Berry going forward.
Hell yeah.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Well, let's not forget about Red Bull's not newcomer, but comeback player of the year, Lewis Morgan, who is,
Yeah.
he could create some chaos for
Baller,
our
baller.
backline. And he's a baller. And it's for people that haven't really been paying attention to the Eastern Conference and what the Red Bulls, aka the Metro Stars, have been able to do. They're not an easy team. They are going to
They're
come.
not a pushover, bro. They're
They're
not
not.
pushovers.
And if
I
you
say
thought
that
this,
much.
like Edgar mentioned, if you thought Seattle was tough, now with the hype of a final, these guys could be a little dangerous. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Let me go through these. There's four more. It's all Ricky related, so that way we can just.
Yeah, perfect.
Logan Jones. Now Diego Fernandez needs to step it up.
Yes, sir.
Jeff the Barber. Ricky, crying emoji. Who will cover him?
For goodness.
Staying Trucha. If Ricky is really out for Torricio, I assume before we found out with the Torricio, who are we trusting to carry the team? Logan Jones. Again, this is before the news came out. Hope Ricky's injury is nothing more than a cramp and not a Torricio.
Sorry.
You know what the really difficult thing about this is the fact that he he's a DP, right? And it's not like you could put him in the. I think can you put him on this on disabled list and go out
That's
and get
what
another
that's
DP?
another thing with the.
We can't, right?
I don't know. I think so. So if all right, we'll look it up. Probably should have done this, but I'll
I
send
think
you
at this
what
point
those
you
are.
can, no?
No, I think you can, right? Obviously, you have to get the timeline that he's going to be out, so it's a good
Oh,
chance.
get Ronaldo real quick, bro. You go get
Oh,
him.
you
Go
no, obviously not for the. I mean, I thought you're
Yeah.
supposed to be you're supposed to be the smarter brother. So we're talking about next season, right? Because it's going to be extended time.
Oh,
Depending how bad that tear
good.
is, it can be anywhere from 6 months to the whole season, right? If we're looking at a year, he's missing the whole season. So I think the MLS rules are something funky. Like I should have looked it up. So I think when it comes to DPS, it's something funky like where you can put them on the season-ending injury, and then you could open that DP slot, but you still take a certain cap hit,
Yeah, yeah, that's
right?
exactly
Something
what
like
it
that,
is.
right?
Or
They,
maybe Galaxy
they,
could trade for a DP slot.
No, you keep it. You get it back
no,
for the year.
you can
But
only get three, bro.
yeah, you get it for that year, but you still take a hit on your
Yeah,
salary. So
and
you
that's what they
still
were.
have,
They were gonna do that with Chicha. Remember?
so yeah,
They
some
were
shit like
thinking
that.
about doing it with Chicha. I think was it last season or the season
Yeah, it
before?
was last.
Yeah.
It was last season.
It was that season that he went to season-ending injury, and then they were gonna bring a DP, but decided at the end, I mean, it wasn't gonna be worth it anyways. We're fucked.
Yeah.
So they're like, all
Well,
right, cool, well, whatever. But they could have brought somebody in and put that DP slot on him.
So
we,
again,
we
I
we
guess
have a super
if you
chat,
look at
by the
it,
way.
if you look at it realistically, you're looking at trying to find a player that would come on loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
So
there's something
Cristiano's coming.
before we do the super chat. There's something I want to say that I didn't even consider when I was doing that research on Garces. He's on loan. He's on loan from Deportivo Pereira, and this whole time we've been like, he's one of us. He's one of us. He's on loan.
No, they bought
No,
him.
So somebody make that happen. Make it a permanent thing, dude. Bring
it's
him in.
not.
No, they
No.
bought him.
They
They
bought
bought
him.
him.
They bought him.
They loaned him
Let's-
first, and then the day after, they're like, never mind, we're buying him.
Really?
Yeah,
And
5
that's
years.
what
Okay, I was just checking. I was
Yeah.
checking in transfer market, and I swear to God, I thought he
that's
was
what
still on
made it
loan.
even weirder when we never saw him because we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We just got this guy and we can't even see how he plays. So
Oh,
Let's get that twinkle
Yeah.
going.
let's
Go
get
for
that
it.
twinkle going. And
Chewy.
don't tweet them.
Oh, it's because
Okay.
Edgar said, and so I was like, I think he's gonna continue.
no. Oh, yeah, so we have the $5 super chat from Julio, right? And I feel bad
Hey.
because I feel like he paid the super chat, but he didn't enter a question. So let's see his question. There it is.
Oh, nice.
Does MLS final, go to extra time, maybe PKs. God, no. Please,
Hopefully,
no.
God.
No.
Let's
No.
well, let's lead on. Let's lead on with that. Let's go from there, right? This is the tail end of the show, and let's look at that
Of course.
guy.
That
Oh shit, that's funny.
Someone
was
just came
so
out, bro.
interesting. Oh, that was funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, what a relief.
So MLS Cup, boys. MLS Cup, December 7th against the New York Celsius
The New York Metro Stars Bulls
Monster versus the what is it
Monstars, the
versus the
Monstars.
LA
It's like
Galaxy Blue
the
Chews.
prime energy drink.
You know,
against the New York Super 90 Plus.
I got a
Energy
question
drinks.
for you guys.
Yes, sir.
With Ricky getting injured and the choices of refereeing, and he's been very vocal about, MLS needs to do better protecting the players during the game with the refs and making the calls. Obviously, with going into the going into the finals of the playoffs, we rather have the refs take a step back and let the guys play, But there's a lot of hits in this game. So he kind of let it go away, and I think he should have done a better job of controlling it. What do you guys think about
Oh,
that?
that's something that Cameron brought up during our discussion in the midweek show, because we were talking about Drew Fisher, the referee in this last match, and he was named referee of the year, right? And so we're like, okay, if this guy's such a polarizing figure, especially when it comes to LA Galaxy, and why put him in this match? And Cameron pointed out that he doesn't hand out that many red cards. He's only handed out 2 red cards the entire season. And you look at some of the other referees in MLS, and these guys will hand out a red card even if you just look at them. So one of the things that Cameron said is that he's the kind of ref that will let things play and will talk to the players and try to mediate and get them to just play the game and not get too testy. But the way Seattle was playing this last match, they're very aggressive. And he tried to hold on to that whistle for a long time to the point where you started to scratch your head and be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, this guy doesn't like us, but on paper, but you're watching the game, you're like, all right, dude, start blowing the whistle,
Hmm.
because some of these fouls are getting kind of rough there.
True.
Um,
Nah, hit the
so
gym.
it's one
I
of those
like
things that
those
make you
good.
go,
Look,
hmm.
Maybe I was raised different, dude. We used to play with that coconut Mikasa ball, and
Yeah, bro.
no sangre.
No hay
no hay
sangre,
sangre.
juégale.
Oye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
I personally didn't have much issue with the officiating.
Me
Well,
neither.
check it out.
Well,
To me,
So
Ricky took a lot of knocks. He's been taking a lot of knocks throughout the season, and that's been building up,
so there's
And hold on,
yeah,
let me
but they
finish.
were
Yeah.
all called. I feel like that all those
No,
fouls were
not
called.
all of them get called. Not like if, let's say, Messi gets hit, they blow the whistle for even like breathing his way.
That's messy.
So all these things build up on the body, and if you look when Ricky gets injured, he didn't really necessarily get hit, but I think all those hits throughout the season helped start tearing that ACL, if it is an ACL tear.
well, also my thing, and I think I've pointed this out before. I feel like the referee situation has been kind of going on all year. Like, I think the refs this year have just been more atrocious than they have been throughout the last year. And we already saw in the beginning of the year how they went on protests or whatever the hell it was, and we got those scab refs and all that. Dude, they were. I don't hate to say it, but they were somewhat doing better than the refs we were having now. Like, I've been complaining about the refs all year and all that, but it's like I think like the biggest, like the most crazy fouls have been getting like just no calls and all that. It's to me, it's just insane. And these guys are the first people that complain all ref abuse and all that, but they're not doing their jobs right.
I don't know. I like playing this man sport with contact. So
Yeah,
if it's
All
not
right,
Facts.
fool.
broken and if it's not bleeding from anywhere that's not an artery, play on.
All right, but I got you. I got you when I come back, bro. We'll go studs up.
Ooh, did you say come? No.
Oh, you win.
I don't know if you guys talked about it when I was out, but looking forward to the game, right? We had to figure out that replacement for Ricky. How do we resolve the uh sorry we have to resolve the Ricky missing issue, right? So if I mean I think there's going to be a whole debate about this, right? Again, I don't know if you guys talked about it, but I think if he is 100%, you do go with Royce. You do Delgado and Surreal, because now It's different. It's a different game. You have pace behind you, right? You have more pace behind you because Ricky does Ricky, so it's a little different if you have Ricky, Royce, and Surreal. Now you have if you have Delgado and Surreal, it's different roles for them that can make up that ground for Royce, right? And he doesn't have to worry as much about the defending side. The guy, it's a big again. It's a guy that's been in big games, right? With all due respect, a stadium with 27,000 people, it's not gonna shake him up. So for me, that's the way you go. And then if it doesn't work out, then you have Fagundes to come in. And by that point, you have fresh legs, Fagundes coming in.
Yep.
So for me, I think you can go either way because we've seen the Fagundes formation works, right? But I'm talking about big games now, right? And I want my big game guy in there if he can go. So I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm gonna go with Royce starting.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier that, for my perspective, is more of a Fagundes start for me, just because he is a seasoned veteran. He hasn't been in the finals, which I mentioned earlier, but
He has been.
he had he hasn't been in the final.
Yeah, yeah. He lost to us, baby.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he was in that team.
he was
Yeah,
with
no
the Revs.
Yeah.
I want to
Well,
see him get
damn, now we are
one or
fucked.
two.
Nah. Fagundes is still my guy. You want the fresher legs, like you mentioned, to start this match, and then if it's not giving anything, then you bring in a player like Marco Reus to finish the game, and show us why he was drafted. It was that chance.
Diego starts this game. I dyed my hair for him before, and he's gonna pull out, bro. Trust.
Gentlemen,
Come out and go crazy.
we're back in another final.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Look at Fagundes right there.
We're back in another final. We want the 6.
Hoy es noche de sexto.
Oh man. Only thing, dude. That 1 p.m., huh? That 1 p.m. is an interesting.
I don't care, bro. It'd be at 4 a.m. I'm fucking there,
No,
bro.
I'm just talking. I'm thinking body clock, right? Obviously, it's a final. You're putting in the Eastern team in a slight advantage, you know, because you're they're away. When it comes to the body clock, you know, so the 1 p.m. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it is the Galaxy's choice to pick certain time slots, right? Like if 1 p.m. or 4 p.m. was available or latest, right? If you can pick, but man, that's the only thing that I don't like is the 1 p.m. thing. I mean, as far as the fans go and the experience, that's not going to change anything. We're still going to
Yeah.
get there. We're fucking crazy, you know. When it comes to the Galaxy, we'll be there. We'll fucking camp out, right? This is
Yeah.
if we have to.
Whiskey and
You know,
pancakes.
how crazy are we? How crazy are we? Willis, what's up, man?
What's up?
How you getting here?
On foot. He's
I don't
leaving after
know.
the show.
He's starts. He's
flapping
gonna
your
start
arms.
walking after this game. Maybe after this pod.
5 hours, bro. I'm getting there. I'm driving 5 hours to get there, so
Yeah, and it's not only just going to be Willis. There's going to be a lot of people with the same momentum and excitement to get to this match. The other Galaxy is in another final. A team who has put MLS on the map, and they're back there again. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
we need MLS to redo the image at this point.
Oh, hey, I got you. I got you. I got you. Eddie, I'm gonna send it to you right now.
The body's not even cold yet.
You know what would have
yeah,
been
that's
funny?
I got
mad, bro.
You put the Peter Griffin meme with the knee instead of Ricky versus Rebels. That'd be hilarious. Gentlemen, another final. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in for this whole season, and that has been tuning in for every season that we've been on this pod. It's been many years with us talking mad shit and being down, but this time around, it's different. And this time around, it feels that this could be an attainable goal to get the 6th, something that we've been wanting for years. Guys, I love you now. Start crying now.
Solo I love you.
Edgar, where can the people find you?
Wait, no predictions? Did you guys do that already too?
We're winning. What the fuck? We're winning it. What the fuck you
kind
mean?
of fucking question is that? Get
No,
out of here.
What the fuck? We're winning it.
You guys are terrible podcasters.
20-0. My prediction. Let's go.
Puta.
Oh yeah, everybody gets a goal.
Edgar, where can the people find you?
A la banca.
You guys can find me on Twitter.
No, that's not the same guy, is it?
That's me, and I want to say 2012.
That
And
looks
that's
like
and the guy and the guy to my next to me is Galaxy Sardis. That was at Dodger Stadium. They had Sardis throw out the first pitch, and then later on, I was in line to get a Dodger dog, and the guy in front of me was Jazzy Sardis. So I took a photo with him.
it looks like a mix of Josh Gad and fucking Franco Escamilla.
So if you ever wonder what I looked like with my beard when I was younger, there you go.
Where can the people find you, though?
And with hair, look at that, I have hair.
Where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky as Edgar Nags. Yeah, Instagram, I uploaded several videos. You guys might be interested. The celebration after the game, and then several interviews, including one with our own Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
Where can the people find you, Eddie? At the
What's up?
stadium next week. Horny as
So
fuck.
you can find me. So you can find me right here, right now, taking my fucking moment to enjoy the fact that we're going to MLS Cup again after 10 years. I'm not gonna have this man fucking rush me right now. So it's gonna be a great fucking time. Get there early. Get there early. Let's bring the noise early. Let's make sure the players can hear us as they drive into the stadium. Get excited. Get your carne asada, whatever your poison is, get it, enjoy it. If it's your first time, bro, just you never know if you're gonna get to see one again. We had to wait 10 years to see another cup. And as far as the score goes, man, I'm confident that this Galaxy team that they should be able to outplay this Red Bull team. Yeah, whatever Forsberg, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, I'm not worried about him. I think Garces is gonna put all these guys in their back pocket, and we're looking at a 3-1. And you can find me in real life. Find me in the stadium. Fuck you, Brian.
Willis, where can the people find you?
You can find me next to Eddie next week for sure.
Bring that that oversized fucking Shook Knight looking at us.
Shook Knight.
And funny enough, that was actually my palm. So
Damn, you were styling, bro.
yeah, that's the only time I wore a suit. So I was usually in my Edgar clothes back then.
Damn,
I was
we
a
have
Edgar back then.
that's like we had Franco Escamilla in here, and now we have fucking Rafael Barboza.
But yeah, you can catch me on. I don't really use Twitter, so I guess Instagram at WillIam a Realtor. So I talk about things other than sports, which is business, insurance, real estate, stuff like that. You know, boring stuff, adult stuff. Boom.
Yes, sir. Guti, where can the people find you?
Next to Willis and Eddie next week.
Let's go. And of course,
And before I say anything else, I just want to say, vendí mi play para llegar a la final de la MLS Cup.
Jeez.
¡El Galaxy, loco!
bien, Jorge.
Hell yeah.
Cisco, where can the people find your OF?
Oh,
You didn't tell me this.
secret. You get me in trouble. Nah, you'll find me at Section 106 next Saturday. Next Saturday. Have a good time.
Yes, sir. And you guys can find me as Bryant Nags on Instagram and
In
X
Section 119.
/ Twitter. Nah, you can see me in the mezzanines. I'm gonna watch the game from up there. It's gonna be beautiful. And of course, our very own producer on the ones and twos. Where can the people find you?
You guys can find me online as Chavez JA Chavez Ha on all my social media. It's pretty easy, pretty simple.
We're up out of here from Eddie, Willis,
Wu-Tang for
Edgar,
life, baby.
Casco, Cisco, Gutino. I'm Bryant. As always, keep on nagging. Queremos la sexta.
Hoy es noche de
Vamos, la
sexo.
concha de su madre.
Haciendo dead
On
madre.
NAGn.